Profit taking could derail Santa Claus rally. We'll look at the 4-hour chart to see how we can trade various continuous securities on the intraday charts. So in this case, S&P 500. I'll give two recent trade examples for two stocks. One is called Rumble. The other one is called EOS Energy. Both of them gained over 100% following a recent alert from MasterCharts Trading, as well as gold miners are signaling a further gold pullback, and I'll explain where I'm getting that information from. All this and more in today's edition of MasterChartsTrading.com for Friday, December 27, 2024. This is going to be our last video for the 2024. Hopefully you had a good year. I thought I had a pretty decent year. My subscribers had definitely had a good year, so hopefully you did too. Stay tuned if you're a subscriber. We'll cover various ETFs. Market breadth is namely also covered in the members only video. Market breadth shows how broad the participation is in the stock rally or how narrow it is. We will cover also various large cap stocks, and not a lot of stocks this video, but there are some interesting setups, for example, for Confluent, as well as Warner Brothers. So stay tuned if you're a subscriber. All right, let's look first at S&P 500. So S&P 500 is trading next to records. On this chart, as always, I'm using my proprietary MasterChartsTrading.com price action indicators, this green, blue, red, and yellow lines. So what happened in the last few days, basically, here's what happened. So we made a record on the 6th of December of this year, 2024, traded more or less sideways until the Federal Reserve said something, and for some reason disappointed pretty much everybody. And on the 18th of December, we had a relatively large drop. Now, notice where that drop has landed. It landed exactly on this green support resistance line. And after that, we rallied. Okay, so on this daily chart, you can kind of see, so daily just means that each candlestick, see it says 1 day, so each candlestick is a day's worth of activity. And you can see that there are gaps between each candlestick. So for example, between this 5th of November and 6th of November, there's a large gap, which is actually partially closed because we made a low right there, but it's still not fully closed. So gaps are notorious for being closed, but we again don't know when. They can be closed. This gap between the 5th and 6th of November can be closed a while from now, or it could be closed tomorrow. Now, because we have gaps here, this particular security, S&P 500, the index itself, shouldn't be used to trade intraday. Okay, what does that mean? Intraday just means that we're trading on something shorter than a daily interval. Okay, so 1 day is kind of like a human scale, but pretty much anything below 1 day, like 4 hour. I mean, 4-hour chart, technically speaking, I guess you could trade as a human, but you will need some sort of automation because in the middle of the night, you're trying to sleep and maybe you need to adjust the position. So some sort of automation should be there, but let's just pretend you're semi-robot and you are trading on a 4-hour chart. Okay, so 4-hour chart, again, means that each candlestick is a 4 hours worth of activity. So notice this very large red candlestick on the 18th of December, and this is the Federal Reserve decision. It touched this red support resistance line, actually broke below it, and I thought that we're going to continue lower, but then we had a significant turnaround on the 20th of December, and basically we had a signal where I'm hovering right now on the 26th of December at 3 p.m. right there. So this is a signal on a daily chart when we have on a 4-hour chart, when we had a a low or a close below the blue line, and now we have a close above it. Okay, a close above the blue line. So that's our trigger right there where I'm hovering. And this trigger was successful because notice that we went from about 5,900 to about 6,025. So it was a significant move. You could have made some money. Now, if you're a subscriber, one of the days on, I believe, 24th or 25th of December, I wrote here to my subscribers saying that we're about to see profit taken. We got our profit taken almost immediately, just a few days later. This is a 4-hour chart, so there's 6 subdivisions within a 24-hour period. So about 24 hours later, basically we got our profit taken. Today, on Friday, 27th of December, you can see a big drop. Okay, but very, very interesting, you can see that it landed exactly on this blue support resistance line right there. So far, notice again, we made a low below the blue line and a close above the blue line. So once again, this is a signal to buy if you're a short-term trader. So right this instant, we're seeing a signal to buy S&P 500 for a move probably towards new records. Can they make it to new records? It's possible, but for a longer-term trader, this is a 4-hour chart, so basically you are going to be trading, the trade would last like a few hours to maybe a few days to a few weeks. For daily charts, where each candlestick is a day's worth of activity, the trades last significantly longer. So, for example, notice that the previous opportunities to buy were either back in April of 2023 or in October of 2023. And why those particular dates? Well, it's pretty obvious. Basically, the price was above this blue line, and then it came down towards the blue line. Okay, and then closed above it. So that's what happened right there, basically. You can clearly visually see it. Okay, so with these indicator lines, you can very easily trade. We just need to know where, at what level to buy. And usually what I do is I want to wait for a move towards the blue line. Right now, we didn't yet have it. We had a move from the records, which was set on 6th of December, towards this green support resistance line. Okay, so this green line is sort of an intermediate between the new records and opportunity to buy at the blue. Now, it did bounce there, so it did provide some support. You can see there was also a similar situation right there in September of this year. However, for me to become quite interested in buying S&P 500 is I'd like to see a pullback towards this blue support resistance line, which is around 7% away from today's levels. And we haven't seen it yet, so we are waiting for that to happen. The last time, again, that happened was in October, November of last year, 2023. So we were waiting again until we see a pullback of significance, and then we will consider buying. Now, certain securities actually did pull back, so I'm going to throw in one that did pull back towards this blue support resistance line. And it is small caps, IWM. So notice how it would behave. So we have new record highs or just new highs. For example, here on the 25th of November, sharp pullback, and then a close above this blue support resistance line where I'm hovering on the 24th of December. I went ahead and I bought myself at this point. And then let's see if we could make a move towards new records at this, at some point in the not so distant future, basically. If that made sense, make a comment. If that didn't make sense, also make a comment and ask a question. Okay, I wanted to highlight a couple of trades we did here at Master Charts Trading. So it's for this particular security. It's called EOS Energy. And we're doing exactly the same thing as I just described. So we have a security which is already above the blue line, and now it has pulled back towards it and then closed above it. Okay, so we have a security which is trading above the blue line, pulls back towards the blue line, and then closes above it once again. So that's our trigger. The trigger occurred right there on the 22nd of November. The price for EOS energy at that time was about $2.68. Now notice what happened afterwards. It just immediately took off in this beautiful kind of V-shaped reversal and gained 105%. So if you bought it at $2.68, currently it's around $5.16. Now, if you bought options, let's say you bought an option, I don't know, a year out, that easily could be 3 times to 5 times to maybe even 10 times the actual gain. So if it was 100% gain for the stock itself, easily 300, maybe even 500%. I wasn't tracking the options, but yes, they move that much. And the closer they are to the expiration date, the more they move. So hopefully you caught this one. Hopefully you took advantage of this alert. If you did, let me know in the comments below. And congratulations on a huge gain. Another one we did here at MasterChartsTrading is for this company called Rumble. So this one also, I mean, it is slightly different than the previous setup because notice that the security was already kind of relatively high above the blue line and then pulled back towards it. In case of Rumble, it was a brand new breakout, more or less. So we had alert wasn't sent here on the 11th of November or even here on the 16th of July, but technically speaking, those were already breakouts. Alert was sent a little bit later on the 4th of December of this year. And if you just held on through this little pullback towards the 20th of December, you were richly rewarded with a 138% gain. So it went from about $7.30 to as high as $17. So this is basically how we use my trading indicators. We're looking for opportunities. Like in this case, it's a breakout opportunity. And this Rumble stock, I'm going to show it to you on the weekly time frame. It's sort of... this is a all-time low, I believe, on the 8th of July. Yeah, it's an all-time low. Oh, I'm sorry, on the 16th of January of 2024, this year. Notice that there was multiple attempts to break above the blue line. In fact, I just showed them to you, but they were daily, sort of. They were not on the weekly time frame. This is a weekly time frame. So the real true breakout occurred right there when on a Friday we closed above this blue support resistance line on the 25th of November. So after that, it went from $7 to as high as $17. So this is exactly again how we use these indicators, the proprietary indicators that I sell here at MasterCharts Trading, and basically you can do the same certain things, similar things to this, and hopefully again you will reap profits from this type of trading. If you did indeed buy Rumble, congratulations, and again please write a comment in the comment section below. Congratulations again. And let's briefly touch upon dollar and gold. So we're currently looking at the dollar currency index. Notice the dollar went on this pretty big tear. So it's a very classic sort of pattern. So notice that we kind of bottomed here in September, had a largish impulse move. And notice where it happened. It went as far as the blue line. We closed above the blue line, so that means we're now in an uptrend. slight pullback, and then another leg up. Okay, another slight pullback, and then another leg up. So this is a very kind of classical situation for a bullish security. So dollar is definitely in an uptrend against other currencies, which implies that gold, which is traded in dollars, will most likely be under pressure. It is more or less doing that, not as much as I was expecting, but pretty close. So we had records set on the 31st of October. 31st of October was when dollar was about to go on the second leg of up move. Okay, so we're looking at XAU USD. So now that second leg of up move for the dollar did significantly depress the gold prices. And so far, we haven't been able to make new highs. Okay, so notice this upward trending line that I put in here. Now, a couple of things. So first of all, inability of gold to make new records is number one. But I think even a bigger issue is what I'm about to show you is for gold miners. So gold miners have been under pressure slightly earlier, so they topped out here on the 22nd of October, while gold topped out a little bit later on the 31st of October. And then they started sort of moving down already at that time before gold did. So notice this bottom, intermediate bottom on 14th of November, another attempt to go higher, and another plunge lower. So important thing to notice here is the fact that we have made a lower low for the gold miners. Okay. So lower low for the gold miners there. Versus a higher low for gold. Okay, so this is a bearish divergence, and I think that in this case, gold miners are going to be leading gold lower. Another thing that just happened today is I think we had a what's called a upward slanting wedge. So this is again a classic sort of situation where we have a stock moved down sharply, a small bounce in the shape of a wedge or a upward slanting channel. I marked it here with this dotted lines, and then a move below those channel lines, and this is a rising wedge break. And I think it just occurred today. So if I'm correct, and indeed we had a rising wedge break, then we could see a continuation of gold miners move to the downside. And again, if I'm correct, gold miners could be leading gold lower. So the current prices for gold might be soon even outdone to the downside. So right now, I'm not interested in buying gold because the price hasn't reached this blue support resistance line. I would want to be buying around the blue line, and it's currently still around 4% away. Now, again, if the gold miners are indeed doing what I'm, explaining, which is leading the gold prices lower, then indeed we will see lower prices for gold in the near term. So that's basically what I wanted to say for this year, for this 2024, and this for the last, again, recap for 2024. Let me know if you have any questions, please. Again, thank you for watching. Have another great trading week, and stay tuned on how to find me on the web. So if you go to MasterChartsTrading.com, you can sign up for one of the products. So I sell trading indicators and the newsletters. So the trading indicators are these lines on the chart, this green, blue, red, and yellow line. They're available for TradingView.com. Once you sign up for a free TradingView account, come back to my site, MasterChartsTrading, and then sign up for the indicators, and I will open the door for you on TradingView.com. I know it sounds a little complicated, but that's just the only way it's going to work. It's actually not that complicated, because once you sign up on TradingView, all you need is a TradingView user ID, and then sign up on my site, and I will open the door for you. It's super easy. So those are the indicators. The newsletters is I send out the daily alerts about various securities that we trade. For example, we are trading large cap stocks, ETFs, as well as speculative securities on daily charts, as well as weekly members only videos are also coming out for the members only. So, for example, one of the stocks again that I highlighted, Rumble, recently gained 138% from a recent alert that was sent just a few weeks ago, really. And of course, the best deal is to get both trading indicators and newsletters. And if you get the yearly price, it's by far the best deal at $49.95 per month equivalent. You will get a 17% off, which is basically 2 months free if you sign up for the monthly plans. All right, that's it for this week's recap again. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for watching. Have another great trading week, and Happy New Year, and I'll talk to you next year. Bye-bye.